Today I'm going to show you how to graph some of the data you have been collecting through the data acquisition units as from MC900, MC950, US1 or iTech. First of all, you need to bring the data into memory. To do that, you can open the drawer here and then select some files. Go into the MC900 directory. There are some files we have already collected. These are .mci files, which are the data files. I can select them all or one by one. So I can select them all, and if I don't need any of them, I can just throw it into the garbage bag here. It doesn't mean it deletes it, it means just gets rid of the selected file. I can just get rid of them all and do the same thing again. Bring it back into this in this pane. You can also mix and match, bring from other places, and then bring it into the same area. So once you're ready, click on the open. Here what you have is the torque versus angle graph, and on the right side is a repository, and it shows you the information about this file. I've loaded some few files here. We can scroll through this. Every time I click this, it shows you different rundown. Each file is one rundown, so the timing depends what you've set. So to program this graph, you need to go to graph setup. To do that, first of all, let me show you. You can have single, double, or quad. All of them are programmable the same way. I'll show you one, and you can do the same thing. So you place the cursor on the graph. It changes from the normal cursor to square cursor. Right click, graph setup. Then you see few tabs on top. The first tab is graph type. It shows you what's available. You can have real time. It shows you the real data that's coming in, or the current file. That's our purpose now, to see the current file that we're viewing, or group of them together, or alpha, which is numerical data for real time, and stats, which is a statistic for the graphs, and echo, that's for ultrasonics. I'm going to cover the current file. Our current file is what we're seeing is this TTA001. Jump to the access. We see there are a few tabs here. X is right now selected for angle. It can be any channel as long as there's data in it. We have data on time. It can be channel 1 if you like, but right now we're selecting angle 1 as a for access, and Y1 what you see is torque, and we have data for it. We select channel 1, and Y2 we can select let's say channel 2. There is a data in it, so it's a tension data. If I select channel 3, there's nothing. So if there's a data, you see some name here, which is label of that channel. In here, you can select the scaling of all these graphs. It can be auto scale. Currently, it's auto scale. If you don't want the auto scale, you want to put your own scaling, you can just put minimum, maximum value. So we show the minimum to maximum value. Just keep it at the auto scale. And the original units is selected. If you want to change the units, you can select from the menu and change the unit. It's better just keep with the original units, because everything else carries through the original units. When you do some statistics, it always goes back to original units. Another feature that we have here is a cutoff data after peak. What it means if this peak area is here, if you want to cut off this portion of it, you can. In here it says, for instance, cut off 75% of the peak. So it finds that it's maximum, so it goes down 70%, 75%, and stops here. Then you will not see the rest of it here. That some people don't want to see the rest of the data. You can do it here. Just let's go and see what we have here. We've selected channel X and Y, and the Y2 as a tension. Let me go back there. That's what you have. The yellow line is our torque, and the red line is our load versus angle. Then go back to graph setup. Back there again, you can change the color of each of these lines. If you like, you select the channel, and here you change the color. For group data, which later on we'll be covering, this is some neat feature that you can change the color of the group data. Text, you can place a title if you like on top of here, and let's see, and or you can transfer it from a current file if you have it. If you have, if you save it your file, you can transfer it. If you take this off, let's take this off. It will show you my title. Otherwise, if it's on, it will transfer from your data file. Miscellaneous is here, shows you can select how many ticks you want on the left and on the bottom, on the right, on the major and minor text. And the group area, if you want to change this area, that's what you see. This is what you can do, you change the percentage. And the markers is selected to be shown. These markers refer to these buttons that later on I'll be talking about. And also you can have vertical marker or vertical horizontal. When you move the cursor, it will show you both. Currently set for the vertical. Ready to go back. So I just covered how to display the graph here. And if you go back and see, all of them are the same way, and you can go and change them. For instance, in here you can go there, right click it, you change the graph type, current file, access in here. For instance, you want to see only maybe torque versus tension. So it changes back there. On the right side, maybe you want to see x as the time, and then you have as a time and torque and tension. Then maybe in here you want to put as a time, and y1 you maybe want to see the RPM. It shows you the RPM that's in there. And the last one that you see here, maybe you want to do, let's see, let's go back, torque versus tension, and maybe angle this way, so something different. So there are all possibilities. So you can have 1, 2, and 4 graphs. That's it. And later on, I'll be covering the rest of the